Hello everyone, this is Gunvash. I am making a quick video about the current state of the reflex sights in the game. Obviously Escape from Tarkov. We have many different reflex sights. I tested most of them to include 25 meter reflexes, 50 meter reflexes, just as a base. I will let you guys know there's really no difference in how they function right now, and the issue that I have found comes with what you're seeing right here is that the scopes will actually be accurate at the same zero that the reflex sights are not. So I go through many different reflexes here. Not all of them are important. They all do the exact same thing. They all shoot low, as you see there. So they all have this inherent. It's almost like they're shooting at the mid to bottom of the actual reflex dot itself, and not the where you would typically aim, especially as an experienced Tarkov player. I think that a lot of people are having issues with the game right now, not only because there's the desync and there's things like that, but because of these issues with the scopes and reflexes functioning. Scopes seem to be working fine. However, the reflexes are all shooting low. And say you turn a corner and you aim at their head, you may actually hit them in the chest, right? Because it's shooting low. Now, Gunvash, why not aim higher? Why not just make the point at the mid of your dot? Well, that just doesn't work, right? Because as an experienced player, you need to turn that corner and not think about the shot. You just need to pull the trigger and know that you're going to hit where you're aiming. Now, there's not, this. If the game doesn't work properly, it doesn't work properly, right? Now, that being said, there is a parabolic arch to how your rounds will hit in real life, right? So in real life, you may not actually hit the center of the dot there. Now, that being said, this is not how this is functioning right now in the game. Now, if that was this part of the game, you could obviously practice and get to where you know where you're shooting. The issue comes with 25 meter zero being at 25 meters, not hitting in the dot, 50 meters not hitting in the dot, or wherever you are, no matter what your zero is, it's hitting low. So honestly, even if you're directly on top of your target, which we'll see at the end here, actually, I do go over that. It's completely off with reflex sights, and it's really difficult to make those adjustments, and then know that hopefully people who make videos like this or whatnot, who may be more experienced than I am at it, will make this blow up. And this type of I almost want to call it a bug, but I think it's just more of an error. Really does ruin the game for those people who are experienced, maybe real life shooters too. Because if you look at this part here, every single one of those are low. I mean, all over the wall here, they're low, every single one of them. And now look at this, boom. This is the same zero that the other one had, boom, all directly on point. So it's useless to use a reflex right now. You're better off point shooting with a scope, because I don't know if you saw it at the beginning there, I put the one of the different reflex sights on top of the Bravo sight and shot it. It was actually slightly farther off than when the reflex sight was just sitting on top of the M4. So it's better off to just point shoot, honestly. And it's really sad, because those reflex sights are where most of your engagements are going to happen on Tarkov. Every once in a while, having a scope is great, but I think the majority of Tarkov players will bring in reflex sights, especially once the wipe happens. If this is still a problem once the wipe happens, people are going to have serious issues with how their reflex sights are functioning. So here I test out the actual zeroing for the scopes, and they do. So you see there the parabolic arch, right? So I increase the zero, therefore the rounds are hitting higher than they would at had a lower zero, and then I lowered the zero there. So you can see that it seems to be working properly with the scopes. However, as you continue on, there's an obvious difference. So and the reason why I use two different guns here, I use 7.62 and 5.56 to try to, make sure that that it's not like the caliber of the round and I'm just crazy or something. But no, it's still shooting low with the 7.62 here, which you can see. And this is the reflex sight, the OKP7, which I think is probably one of the best reflexes in the game, in that it's the most clear and you can see and concise. However, if you look at it, it's actually shooting below the triangle, not above or directly kind of centered on the tip of the chevron, right? Which it should be. Unfortunately, it's shooting low to where the line is, essentially. Now, again, I would like to kind of go over, how, let's say, the real M4, and that's the reason why I brought the 5.56 and the M4. I understand how it works in real life. So, typically, you go out, you zero on a 25-meter range that gives you a 300-meter piece of paper. So it's got a 300-meter target on the paper, so it's small enough to be meter target would be. So you then zero your rifle into the center of that target. Once your rifle is zeroed, there's a selector that you choose your zero, which typically 300 is the standard. They've been trying to go to 200 because 200 is actually the most effective zero for an M4 for the types of engagements that we get into, because it's the most flat parabolic arch. So when you have a 300-meter zero, the parabolic arch for the zero is actually quite heavy. So at the 150-meter at the 150-meter target, you're actually shooting quite low, because that is the highest point of your round that is traveling to your 300-meter target, right? So essentially, your point of aim on the 150-meter target is going to be naturally toward the bottom of the target, so the round traveling to the 300-meter target can actually hit your target. It's all point of aim, point of impact type stuff. With reflex sights, it's completely off. Shooting low no matter what, no matter where you're at. There's no parabolic arch to the round. It's just shooting, falling out of your barrel, and going down, which it does. At the end of the video, I show kind of like a farther shot with the reflex, and you can see that it does have drop to the round, but it doesn't have any arc to the round. So the round just goes down from the very start being low until it hits lower later. And you see here, I just kind of tested out the scope, blowing it away, right? Every single round hits directly where I'm supposed to be hitting. So again, their scopes are proper, and they should have the reflexes almost mirror the scopes. So your point of aim, point of impact, and the arc of the round is off, and I really hope that we can get this fixed, because this is something that is essential to the game. The shooting mechanics in general are essential to Tarkov. So let's fix it, and let's as a community try to figure out what the other issues are with this game, and not just bitch and complain about it. Because, obviously, look at the wall right here. Every single round, except for those obviously shot with the scopes, are low. No matter what the distance was, no matter what the zero was, none of it mattered. So, I would appreciate you guys sharing this video. Get it to some of the bigger streamers if you can, if they're willing to view it. It's something that I did put some time into. I did, kind of put some thought into. What you're seeing here is what I was talking about with the close range accuracy. So both guns, the SKS and M4, shot really low at close range, which is to be expected with a parabolic arch, right? That's how kind of it would work. The round will be rising up until 25 meters. But the problem is it's still low at 25 meters, so, that is the issue here. And I tested this a couple times, and then I went out a little farther, right, and I shot right at the little top of the building there, just a few times, just to show that the rounds were still dropping, but just not rising. So in order to really fix the shooting, they're going to have to add the rise of the round, or just have the rounds come out as they do, but have them accurate at that 25-meter range at least, right? So wherever you're zeroing up to, at least it's accurate to there. But they can't do that truly without adding the parabolic arc to the round, because once you get out to like 100 meters, there's no way for the round to not go up to hit 100 meters and then come down later. It just doesn't work that way. It has to go up, the round does. And they understand that because that's how the scopes work. And then here, I just shot the scope with the same zero. And of course, guys, you can see the rounds right behind it. And you can see the rounds in that little video before, or little clip of the video before. They hit really low. But same 50, 100 meter zero, didn't matter. They all hit right on round, or on your point of aim, which is, you know, at this distance, what it should do if you're zeroed out to that. And then I zero up to 150, hit a little high there, but still, that's exactly what it should do, right? That's what the round should do. So, again, guys, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your patience with the video. It's a little longer than I wanted to make it, but I also wanted to make sure that people understood kind of the physics, how things should work. You know, on that, it's kind of Rip Tarkov time, and please fix the shooting so we can truly enjoy the game, because this is going to be the best game out there if everything gets fixed. Again, thank you for your time.